Right, what I've done is I've copied across the goggles from the other one just to act as a reference. So I just drag those across. They're not even really in the right position. They need to be slightly more central. And what I did with the mouth is I've kind of pinched it in at the sides here, just moved these across, yeah? So I haven't really done much. I accidentally paused again, would you believe? This isn't deliberate, I do apologise. Anyway, what I want to do here is just kind of widen this part a little bit. So I'm going to move these up a little bit, just to remove any pinching that may be happening. If you're hearing a lot of noise in the background, I do apologise. It's stupidly noisy here. It really is. Right. Yep, everything's good there. Yep, everything's good there. Okay, let's go back to this face. We've sort of got the right shape going on here. It's okay as a relaxed pose, certainly. I'm going to start building the inside of the mouth. So let's close this up. I'll start a second part for this simply because when you've hit pause and then you've obviously not hit, you know, keep on bloody going again at the right time, you really need to be able to tell exactly where you are, and I couldn't. So I couldn't tell which parts I'd shown and which parts I haven't, and I don't want to miss parts. That's no good at all. Right, inside of the mouth here. Don't want it too high up. Okay, gotta have room for the teeth, obviously. Don't want it wonky either. Bring that part in. Or uneven. So many pitfalls when you're doing this, it's just not even funny. Okay, so the teeth are going to come out of here. Should be big enough. Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to bring this in a little bit down here. Oops, redo that. Right, then I'm going to bring this back to the back of the mouth. Oops, haven't got that one selected. Bring this into the back of the mouth, which I want to start closing up, because I don't want a massive mouth anyway. So I'm going to bridge here to here, and shall we sync? Not got enough blooming polygons as usual. Always the same, isn't it? Never mind. It leaves me this kind of one polygon here, unfortunately, which doesn't bridge particularly well. Undo that. It's because the twisty angle, I suppose, that I did the mouth out there. Let's do it across this way instead. Actually, this is going to work out. I've just worked out what I was doing wrong and how to do it right. So we'll call this a learning experience. Grab here, here, and here. Quick connect. Pull it back, which creates the inside of the mouth. And then cap this part, which is also a polygon, incidentally. Just a very, very messy one. Now then, to make it less messy, I'll bring this one in, which now gives us a polygon on the inside of the mouth here. And I'm going to bring these parts here and here back. And this one, which I'll bring in at the same time. And because it's a mouth, we make it deeper at the bottom than we do at the top. That way we've got room if we need the character to talk or anything like that. We don't need as much character on the top of the mouth. I don't know if this one's got a glottis, sorry, not epiglottis, or a uvula, which is that weird dangly thing that people often wonder what it is. The part that, you know, Jerry Mouse always punches, much to everyone's hilarity. Gotta hate that mouse. Okay, so we've got these now, which are spaces for the teeth. Now he's got 4 teeth on the top and a couple on the bottom. And if this is the kind of relaxed pose here, then we can certainly look at bringing these teeth out here. I just need to make sure that this is wide enough for his tooth. Because if you make them uneven, they're going to look silly. There we go. And they've obviously got to be kind of quite 4-sided teeth. I know that sounds the silliest thing in the entire world, but they honestly do. Okay, I'm going to extrude these down a bit. Now, if I just drag this, you can kind of see the teeth dropping into space here. Just flatten them out. The problem we have is that these little buck teeth here aren't exactly what we're looking for, yeah? I'll just adjust my angle here. I'll undo that as well because I think I want to space them out more at the top. And I may as well, while I've got the ability, before I've adjusted my model too far. Now remember the front teeth, 4 front teeth, nice and big. That gives us those polygons there. Let's just look at it again. Got to be careful as well because we don't want the teeth to come down too far, or they're going to intersect with each other, and that's going to be a problem as well. Okay, that's fine. Now, do we want the teeth to be an actual part of the model, or do we want them to be separate? That's an important question. I think, to be honest, it's going to be easier having the teeth separate. I was going to bring them down, but I think I'll just make them separate objects, and that makes things considerably easier again, because then all we have to do is get basically a workbench, which is a box, and then we can build our teeth on this box, and it's then just a case that we just hang them inside the head. We can basically build a tooth rig. Okay, so again, just undo that. If we consider that this is our tooth here, and it's not really wide enough, there we go, and it's not really high enough, there we go. Check the thickness, there, in a bit. Little bit wider. There we go. So we're going to have 4 of these, and convert to just an edible poly, and this is going to be M201. Okay, we can get rid of this now, and first things first, I'm going to get rid of this top polygon, and then select all these edges here. Actually, before I do, let's stick on a turbo smooth. Okay, so now we can see, turn it white so it'll be kind of tooth coloured almost. 2 iterations, and that's far too much of a peg at the moment. So what we can do is just turn this to isoline display, come down here, and we select all 4 of these, Rather than adding extra geometry, we can just increase the crease value. Increasing the crease value does just that, as you can see. Okay, and you can increase the weight or the crease you see here. But the crease is obviously what kind of puts a proper crease and an edge into your tooth. Do you want that much, though, of a crease? I'm probably going to guess no. I think probably I'll just use geometry after all. I'll just deselect these ones, because I don't need these fellas here and here. And then if I chamfer it, and keep my chamfer fairly low, but not too low, we want it fairly blocky. Click tick. Now I'm going to go straight through the middle here. Do a connect. No, not a create shape, a connect. And I can bulge it, so I'm just going to grab here. And that gives us a curved curved shape. And, you know, curved teeth obviously look kind of a lot more friendly than having pointy teeth. You've got a pointy teethed one, you're going to be having a much different thing. Don't angle the teeth back too much. If you angle them back too much, it's going to look slightly interbred, to be honest. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in on this tooth, and over here I'm going to just zoom in on this one. Now I've created it in the wrong one, so I'm just going to come across to here. Alright. Good old dental rig. Okay. Did it again, can't believe it. There we go. So this will allow me to position the teeth. The teeth aren't together. They're just kind of hanging nice and high up here, which will set them quite cheerful. And just adjust the angle they're at. If they slope up like that, it's going to look naturally quite cheerful. See? Now, I need to get into perspective, and of course these teeth will not be lying in the right position on the gum, because this has to be curved in as well here. Like that. Okay, and we'll bring these down a bit. Take this off local and into view. Okay, so the teeth can come down more at the top than the bottom. Like that. Check our lower poly model here. And now what I need to do is make a copy of this one. So I'm just going to turn it all the way around like this, holding down Shift. Now you see what I mean? If we've got them too close together, it looks like it's gritting its teeth. It doesn't look like so much of a cheery kind of thing. And as well as which, if you look, its gums are set quite far back here, so really not having them together makes more sense, because we can do that. And then we just have to put this one next to it like that. Okay. Now this one needs to be curved as well. And I'm going to bring it back in. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to have to adjust the mouth. To make slightly more room inside it for the teeth. At the same time making sure we're not breaking anything. Doesn't he look jolly? Okay, now let's grab these 4 verts here. Ooh, grab some black ones, don't want them. Just want these ones and these ones. At the minute its face is too far back for its front lip. Remember what I said about front lips? If you don't, we really need to keep an eye on making sure they're still curved. Otherwise, because he doesn't have a nose, it's going to make him look disfigured, and we don't want that either. Got to be careful and make sure we still maintain all our curves that we need. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's nice, however, we're not getting enough of a tight smile at the corner here. I think we probably can if we just grab a couple of these. And move that to there and that to up there. Actually, that's not bad, yeah. I mean, another thing we could do, obviously, is... Remember I was just saying about creasing. If we do that, that'll really tighten the corner, but it'll also make things a bit messy. Let's move these 3 points right in, close to each other. Okay, we've got a bit of a Forrest Gump thing going on here now because its teeth aren't far enough forwards. So, let's see if we can sort that out now. Because our teeth press against our gums, they actually make the shape of our mouth. It's fundamental, otherwise our mouths tend to collapse. That's why people with false teeth have like really bizarre looking faces. No disrespect to people with false teeth, but you know, they do because basically their teeth aren't supporting their lips, so their lips kind of crash in on themselves. Okay, these teeth here too far apart. So I think I'm going to widen this one a little bit. And widen this one a little bit. Same here. And here. Don't want them to intersect though. Okay, that seems fine. I'm just going to collapse these. And I'll do a reset X form on them at the same time. Just to make sure that we don't have any further problems now that I did a non-uniform scale on them. Now, oh, remember what I did there? Hang on. Slight problem. Okay, now when I collapsed these, you can see we've actually got basically empty verts sitting outside these. Okay, which is messing them up. Now, I've had this problem in the past. Sometimes you have this when you stick a turbo smooth on. So what I'm going to do is isolate this. And we're going to have to fix it the old-fashioned way, I think. Which is a shame, because I didn't really want to. Just remove the X form from all these. Actually, no, I'll stick them back on. Sod it. Right, collapse them all. Okay. These will now edit polys. Now you see we've got all these verts in here. There's far too many of them. Okay, so this is basically a repair job, unfortunately. So right. So all we're doing is just clearing out all these excess verts. Whilst at the same time try not to kill the model, which is surprisingly easy to do, as you can see. Go around the back side, you can see already we're starting to lose some of the important ones. I think this is actually a point where I should probably pause and then come back to this, and then you can see how I've fixed it, or that I've fixed it anyway. All I'm going to be doing is basically taking these out and then reapplying the mesh smooth to them though. Well, that took an unpleasantly long time. However, what I've done is I removed all the isolated vertices individually by clicking on them and pressing backspace, and then I reapplied the subdivision to them, and then I collapsed them all. So, convert editable poly, and so on. There we go. Now if I exit isolation mode, and there we go. Now we can see our low poly and our high poly versions. I think these need to be a little bit lower in here. Probably just... no, not the mouth. The teeth. There we go. And what I'm going to do is create copies of the teeth. So if I just use a mirror set, and then bring them back to about there. Click OK. And obviously I'm going to reset those. Now you'll notice they've gone black. It's not just bad dentistry, it's... I've said this before because we need to obviously flip all these. And here. And here. There we go. Make sure they fit in. Still got a little bit lacking in the curvature around the front of the face. So what I'm going to do is again split this out, and that'll allow me to look at the front of the face here while working on the low poly version over here. Okay. Like I said before, we don't have a nose to play with, so we don't really have an upper lip to play with either, unfortunately. I might add in an extra row of polygons, really just to allow us to work on something with this. Let's have a look. Click here, and then do a quick ring. Connect. Just go around the back and make sure it's not done anything I don't want it to. No, that's okay. Now I've got to be careful here because this is where our filtrum would be. Bring that down a bit and out. At the minute we don't have any expressive eyes, you see. The eyes are going to carry this as well. We can't just rely on the mouth. However, at the moment we haven't really got any choice. We don't have any cheekbones as such either. As you can see, it's quite easy on the second model there to make it look quite markedly different. Okay, that looks fine actually. Okay, so what we're going to have to do really is look at making the goggles work next, and possibly putting a little bit of hair on top of this, just so that our character starts developing a little bit more personality. We can then kind of work on the eyes from there. The goggles are very much a fundamental part of the mesh, though. There's no eyes underneath the goggle. We don't need to do that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next part.